Hello! So, I don't exactly have a plan for this video, but I just wanted to put some Sky Battle in the background while talking about Galaxite a bit. Because I feel like the server has really gone downhill quite a bit since I started playing in Season 4, and I'm just really worried about what the server is going to be like in the near future. And this isn't really about how I don't like a lot of the content they've added. Like, for example, I think the Season 7 Kronos update was actually really bad, but that's besides the point because I feel like the server is just barely playable anymore. And it's especially gotten in the way of GXC and to an extent even GSG tournaments. And that's actually where I want to start. I want to start by talking about GXC. So even before recently, there has been some issues. GXC has always been scuffed, but I feel like GXC 4 and GXC 5 were like the first times where I feel like it was really the actual server itself was the biggest reason it was scuffed. So in case you weren't there or don't remember, first of all, GXC 4, Fill the Gaps crashed before the game even actually started, so we redid it, the game actually started, crashed again, and then later Hyper Racers was played, and there's two rounds of that of course. The second round, I believe, it just froze for everybody except for AJ for some reason, so we had to redo that too. And then the month after that, GXC 5 happened. Again, Fill the Gaps was played, and I was expecting the crashing with that to just be a one-time thing, I wasn't expecting it to happen again. But yeah, Fill the Gaps actually ended up crashing a third time in only two GXCs. Which I might have been able to dismiss as just a Fill the Gaps issue if the same thing didn't happen in Core Wars later. But then probably the more annoying thing is that when it got to the dodgeball finale, we weren't able to get into an empty playground. And usually Slash Playground will put you into an empty playground, but that just wasn't happening for some reason, which is really weird. And then if you aren't aware of what happens next, you'll probably think, oh, so probably GXC 6 happened next, right? Well, actually no it didn't, because private games have been down for maintenance. They've been down for maintenance for 2 months at this point, and there's just been no tournaments happening because of it pretty much. And that's also an issue because private games are definitely used for things other than tournaments. For example, there's custom games like Laser Tag or Trivia Night in GSG. Sometimes it might also be used for testing things. I've also used them for thumbnails before. So yeah, it's been really bad that private games have been down for as long as they have been. So then I made a whole plan where we could run a whole tournament called GXC Solos using public lobbies, or specifically, a combination of public lobbies, parkour builders, and playground. Except that actually didn't work. You see, what happened is, we managed to get all 8 people into our party. Okay, that's the easy part. We did the first poll. They voted for Hyper Racers, I believe. Party leader queues Hyper Racers, and it says, no game found in the chat. We aren't able to queue into a game of Hyper Racers with a party of 8 people. We aren't able to use a server feature as basic as getting into a party and queuing into a game. Wow. And this wasn't just a Hyper Racers thing either. If I recall correctly, we also couldn't do Core Wars, we couldn't do Parkour Builders, we couldn't do Playground. So we ended up basically canceling the whole tournament and just playing MCC Island instead because the server wasn't working properly. And in the future, it's just gonna be hard to plan things because I think the last 3 tournaments we've hosted have really made it look like we can't depend on the server actually working as intended. But that's not really the only reason the server is barely playable. In fact, the server has much bigger issues than that, I would say. I'm pretty sure I don't get this because I'm still in 1.18, but Void Glitch is a thing. I don't exactly know how it works, but apparently it happens a lot, and it's really annoying, and it, prevents you from playing the game, kinda. But aside from all the major bugs that Galaxite has at the moment, there's also all the lag issues it has. Honestly, they really went overkill with all the entities in the Season 6 hub. I don't think there was that much entities in the hub before, right? I'm pretty sure there wasn't, but I could be wrong about that. There's just so much entities in the hub now, and that can cause frame rate issues depending on what device you have, and also depending on what else you might be doing on the device, like recording or streaming or whatever. There's all the players that are going to be in there, there's all the shop items they're advertising, there's also all the NPCs that are in there, and also all the animated things that they put in there. And it looks nice, but it just causes too many issues for people. But then I think it's even worse if you go in the playground, because you've got a lot of the same stuff there. You're gonna have client-side lag being caused by all the shop item entities there, and also all the players in there. But aside from that, it feels very much like Playground isn't built to handle as many players as it has a lot of the time. Like, it feels like there's serious server-side lag issues while in Playground, and it messes with things like knockback. Or also, this was an issue that happened in the SNX tennis tournament. There were so many people in the hub, and it made the tennis gameplay feel very laggy. So yeah, I feel like Galaxite has really reached a spot where it's kind of borderline unplayable, especially when you consider how bad the queue times are, although that's kind of a hard issue to fix. Like, the server is just laggy and a lot of things just don't really work properly. Aside from everything I've just mentioned, I also don't really like a lot of the changes they've made to the actual gameplay, although again, I won't really be going over that in much detail here, and maybe I'll even make another video about that, I don't know yet. But overall, I think the server just isn't as good as it used to be. And I think probably the main reason I made this video is because I think I've decided that I kind of want to move on from doing mainly Galaxite content and I want to maybe try some other things. But also I feel like that kind of transition is very awkward if I don't like explain it. And I do have some other ideas I've been working on. There are non-Galaxite ideas that I have had for a while now, but I kind of didn't want to do them because I feel like just as an example, I had a Hypixel video I was considering making, except I didn't make it because I didn't want to become known for that one Hypixel video if it ended up doing really well. But I kind of just don't care anymore because I'm not exactly happy with how Galaxite is right now. And again, I'm worried about what the server might be like in the near future. Anyways, for now, I think I'm just gonna let the background gameplay finish out, and then the video's over, I guess, I don't know.